I am Web Captain Drew, and welcome to my new show called Galactic Island. That's right. Well, Galactic Island is a spinoff of my other show that I did for 9 years called Podcast Island. And yeah, we had a lot of fun making that show, but it's time to move on to other things. And I think you'll enjoy this because I've got a lot of experience creating content, and I think I can make it semi-interesting, at least, especially on this topic of the paranormal. Yeah, that's right. It could be ghosts, it could be extraterrestrials and spaceships or Bigfoot. I don't know what we'll get into, but that's what we're going to do on Galactic Island, is discuss those topics and my views or my ideas about them. So stay tuned. Here it comes. Here we go. Let's set sail to Galactic Island. 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1, action.
Welcome to Web Captain Drew's Galactic Island as we set our course for another adventure. Last week we discussed civilization and its getting with the program so we can be part of the extraterrestrial world, the outer galaxies. Go left. You were pointing left.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're driving. All right, so this week I wanted to discuss 3-Eye Atlas. Do you know about 3-Eye Atlas?
Mm.
You don't? It's your birthday. Just because it's your birthday doesn't mean you shouldn't be informed about what's going on out there in the world.
So inform me.
I will, because it's a pretty interesting story. When I started researching it and looking into it, there was a lot of buzz on the internet. And by the way, it's nice to have my cameraman back. Can I call you cameraman, or should I call you camera woman?
Camera woman, please.
Camera woman. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. Is that how they do it in Hollywood? Are you still a cameraman if you're a camera woman?
I don't know. I don't care how they do it in Hollywood, but I like camera woman.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. We're on the complete opposite side of the continent.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do things our way.
Our way.
So, birthday girl, I want to say hello to our Admiral of the Fleet. Got Goddesses of the Sea, riding shotgun.
Here I am.
That's right. You didn't know I was doing this show yet.
I had no idea.
Right. Well,
Totally took me by surprise.
all right. Well, it's good to have somebody holding the camera, so I can have 2 and 10 here on paying attention to what I'm doing. But back to 3-Eye Atlas. My new show is about the paranormal, and I don't know that we could call 3-Eye Atlas paranormal. It seems more like it's a meteor or comet, I should say. But there definitely is a lot of speculation because the comet is not behaving as other comets do. So of course you get a lot of people online that get excited and create stories maybe that aren't necessarily true just to get those clicks and those likes. And so I did a lot of research because the first person that pops up is Avi Loeb. Of course, he's the most well-known person that's speaking about 3-Eye Atlas right now. So, of course, I listened to what he had to say about it. And one of the things he kind of, I suppose, is putting out there that it's a 30 to 40% chance that 3-Eye Atlas is something that we've never seen before. So it could be anything like a spaceship. Like, you know, that is like pretty wild when an astrophysicist says this. So definitely, I think, got the attention of the ufology community right away because we haven't had this happen since Oumuamua was discovered in our solar system, and after Oumuamua there was Borisov, which I didn't know until I started looking at the content that was these news stories that were created around Three-Eye Atlas. So yeah, it was pretty interesting to hear what Avi Loeb had to say about it, and being that I am very into this subject, I wanted to get more information about it. So I had to sift through a bunch of garbage to just find anything that was related to it that wasn't either Avi Loeb or wasn't, just some AI generated garbage. And I found out that it seems to be kind of the general consensus, of course, that this probably is just a comet from another solar or galaxy solar system. And that's what makes it so interesting, because the particles that are in it are not normal, what we normally see in comets. And so that's what makes the story interesting and different. After doing a lot of research and trying to figure out, maybe see who else was discussing it, I came along with a guy named Randall Carlson. And Randall Carlson I have never heard of before until he finally, thankfully, popped up on this story. Him and his co-host John discuss ancient civilizations, meteors, comets, stuff like that. And I was very happy to find this commentary that he and John did, Randall Carlson and John had done. It helped to explain better what the Three-Eye Atlas is. And the story is very interesting because people that are not wanting to go on the hook and say that it is a spaceship, there's definitely still people that are kind of scratching their heads at this Three-Eye Atlas, because it is a different deal altogether. So I want to just discuss that today: meteors, asteroids, comets, and my idea about it. And we're going to take a quick break because we've made our destination. And before we go, I just want to say one of the most interesting things that I thought as a parallel to this story was that the government just shut down. Why did they shut down right before a potential cataclysmic event could happen to planet Earth? Is it just plain old Congress laziness, government laziness, or is there something we don't know about? Are they packing their beef jerky and tang into their bags and getting ready to hop on Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin and get off the planet and leave us? So yeah, I think it's an interesting parallel, but it might just be that, well, that's what the government does these days. So we'll be back in a flash. Getting our supplies for the in case there's a shutdown for the meteor comet destruction. So we have macaroni and cheese and blue soda. Those are good supplies.
Do we need trash bags?
Yeah, we could use those. Fun.
Oh, lemon sip.
You have to have plenty of supplies. Plenty of TP in case the shelves go bare. Always make sure you have your hot sauce and plenty of chips. In case there's a shutdown, you gotta have chips. Right? And gummy worms. What else? See a bunch of candy. Oh, more gum, licorice. This always looks good in a shutdown. Just in case, you never know.
Yeah, stop it.
So our adventure wasn't intended to be a bug out trip where we were planning to batten down the hatches. I'm sure that the chances of the meteor actually striking Earth are very slim, but um, you never know. You know, I live in a hurricane zone, so it's always good to buy supplies. And we all learned a valuable lesson during COVID that there's some things that even if you are stocked up, you're going to run out of. So maybe it's always good to keep a little extra TP in your closet or some of those sundries just in case. So let's get on back over and see what other kind of good stuff. I was actually looking for some kind of UFO like toy or something to put on there that's kind of cut up a little bit, and I couldn't find anything, so I had to come up. I'm pretty good on the cuff, off the cuff there with some of the stuff I found. My favorite was the reptilian bug zapper. That was a real find, and I think that I I didn't have a microphone on me, so I was kind of talking quiet because I'd never filmed anything like that, like in a store, and I'm like, am I going to get in trouble for doing this or not? And I was thinking, well, you know, I still, nowadays it's pretty common to see people doing stuff like that, but I was still a little bit on trying to be on the down low. So I apologize. Next time I'll try to speak a little louder. But that's what we're dealing with now since we are, this Sparrow Radio is on we're kind of flying, into a different, zone here. So, as we prepare to relaunch, we don't want to, the show must go on. So we'll do it as best we can until then. Oh, right here. How does this look? Does this look good disguise?
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
Oh my
I like
God.
it too. I will say that over the years, whenever there's been meteor showers, that I have tried to actually go out and view them, and I've seen some really good ones. The best place I think to actually view them is either out in the country and on the beach. I've seen them from both in the country and on the beach, and if you get to catch one of those meteor showers, it's worth staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning if you have to see nature's fireworks. The colors and stuff, that's one of the things I remember the most. How they would change colors when they come into the atmosphere. It was really cool. And both times that I watched the bigger meteor showers, the one night I couldn't even count how many we've seen. We've seen so many. I was with my family, and that was really a cool experience. So it's something that's unforgettable if you get to even just go out on a regular night and never seen a shooting star. Try to find one because you'll see one eventually. So that's definitely a good point to bring into this whole subject too. I found the perfect item for reptilian invasion, the bug zapper. This will be the perfect defense weapon. You have to have a peace offering too. Look, peace offerings are good to have.
Oh yeah. God, that smells good.
Hey, you never know. Extend the olive branch. Sorry, so I kind of follow this analogy because when you look at how comets have hit the Earth, of course, science believes, I think, somewhat that there was a possible extinction event where it was caused by an asteroid. You can have, like, if you think of the analogy, I suppose, like, you know, Frosty the Snowman, when you roll that initial, there it is. All right, well, here's a few things I left out. One is that when you live in a tourist town and you're filming on the road, sometimes you will get interrupted if you're trying to film your blog on a busy street. That I will not miss when the pirate headquarters is relocated. I will miss being basically at the top end of the Bermuda Triangle. I have seen some very strange things here in the sky. So let's segue back on over and see how Web Captain Drew and his camera lady are doing on their trip.
Ready? Nope.
Left here.
Nope, straight. I mean, we could do that, but it's just easier to go straight. Nice ride. All right, 3, 2, 1, you are on.
All right, well, so when we are discussing comments, like I said, I don't think that we're going to really know until they get to a point where you can actually film it. Is this my turn?
Nope, straight. You're going to go straight all the way to Delta.
Yeah.
This way it'll run your car
All
to 60.
Well, if we're not going up to Nova, we're going to turn here.
No, we're going to Nova.
Nova. All right, so when we think about like extinction events, science believes somewhat that could have possibly wiped out maybe the dinosaurs, maybe even caused a flood at one time. You kind of have this analogy of maybe like a snowball, thinking of building a snowman, the bottom of the snowman, the biggest part. If you took a golf ball and you threw it at Frosty's bottom half, what would happen? It would, leave an imprint in the snow, and the bigger and the faster the ball is and the harder you throw it, the more of an impact it creates. What's interesting about like meteorites hitting the Earth, especially extinction level event meteorites, is that the effect of even a small comet coming into the atmosphere creates this like huge explosion effect. Like there is some footage of meteor hitting in Russia, and the size of the meteor was, when they pulled it out of the lake, it was like the size of like a small maybe car or refrigerator, but it caused such a massive like sonic boom that it literally windows out, and people had percussion damage from the meteor ripping into the atmosphere at that kind of speed. So I think that's kind of probably where, when we look at these like asteroids or comets coming into our planet, it can be a little bit, I suppose science has to really like look out for these things, and we're just getting to the point where that we can start looking out in space and seeing things that we hadn't seen before, like Oumuamua and this 3-eye atlas, which there's probably been these types of meteorites before, or I'm sorry, comets before, but we just didn't have the ability or enough people with their telescopes pointed to the sky to see them. So that was also one of the points too, I think, that Randall had made, was that now that we have a lot more technology and things out there where we can spot these comets, it's more, it's going to become more common, where maybe before we just didn't know about them. They were out there, and I think that was one of the good points that him and John had made, showing how they have a 3D model that they use on their show. It shows how the meteorites come in and can get into our solar system, as far as like their the way they orbit the Earth or the planets. And so yeah, it's very interesting, and if you want to see how that all works, definitely check out Randall Carlson's show, and they have a really interesting way to explain what's going on and how this all works. Alright, so we're going to take another quick break, and we'll be back in a flash. All right. Well, one of the things I left out in my commentary was what do I think that Three Eye Atlas is? And one of the reasons why I was doing this show was because I wanted to know what it was. I didn't have any idea. I remember when Hellbop had come through when it was a pretty big deal and everybody was watching the skies. I seen it. I think I was living in California at the time, so there was a big story related to that there. And yeah, so it's interesting to watch the skies and see something different. So my opinion on it, after I did the research, I believe that it's probably most likely a comet. Um, it could there be something related to it? Some people say maybe like a Muamua, where they called it the Scout. It was a Scout. I think that it's probably more likely that we're just uh, getting to be able to see these things in our solar system, where before we never saw them because we didn't have the technology that we do have now. Now, is it possible that it could be a spaceship of some kind? Of course, anything's possible. But from what I've looked at and researched, and I do think that even I think even Avi Loeb has made he's basically led to, he's not saying that it's a UFO. He's saying it could be, or something along those lines. I think it's probably most likely a comet. And then what's cool about though is that it is a lot different than anything that's the uh, um, astro- astronomy community has ever seen. So the way that the comet is put together, the particles in it, they are going to try to get as much information as that they can because it's not. They think it didn't. It's not from our solar system. It came from somewhere else. So that's the interesting part about that too. Could a spaceship be on something like that? Of course, you could, put a spaceship on the moon, landed on the moon. Why couldn't you land it on a type of big, meteor, the comet? So I think that it'll be interesting as it passes by Earth. What it gets closer, what people like Avi Loeb and Randall Carlson say about it, and that's who I'm going to be watching for this story as it unfolds. And yeah, I'm going to get out of here. And I think, yeah, Web Captain Drew has one more thing to say to the admiral of the fleet. So we'll head on over there and then get out of here. All right, so we managed to finish our shopping mission, buying those important supplies. You don't want to run out of the necessities in case we have a catastrophic meteor collision. So we're just going to have to wait and see. They said that it's coming at the end of, I suppose, the end of October. So it's actually, they've changed the dates on it a few times. That also makes it interesting. It's not going in a path like what they could really predict. So there you have it. Make sure you got your paper supplies and your sundries stocked up. So here we go. All right, so we had a great day today. Had a lot of fun, made a lot of new friends. We got our preparations in case there's a comet disaster, a meteor strike. And we also had to say happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Liz. Happy birthday, Liz. The Admiral of the Fleet, Goddess of the Sea, Lady. Happy birthday to you. My rendition of Happy Birthday isn't as great as Marilyn Monroe's, but hey, it is what it is. I think I will leave it uncut. If you see my T-shirt is so sweaty, they don't call it the Sunshine State for nothing. It's always hot here, and so I was standing out there in the shade talking to somebody, well, where as I was unloading the car, and that is just for me standing out there for like 10 minutes. So yeah, I sweat for you this time. I hope you all appreciate it and come back and see me again next week. Web Captain Drew, goodbye. I almost forgot to announce our our video. So we got to do that. I'm just picking out this is off my Hail to the Thief album, and I'm just going to go like probably in an order like I did with the other show. And we're starting off with our Rumbullets intro on my Hail to the Thief album. If you want to find that, you can get the downloads on Bandcamp, or you can listen and watch also the videos themselves at SPARROWRADIO.com, and that's where you'll find most of them. This is a collaboration that I did with Goddesses of the Sea. I thought this was appropriate since it was Liz's birthday, and she was kind enough to film me on her birthday, so she was working on her day off, and we want to thank her for being a great CEO, and she's always chipping in and helping us out when we need stuff on the Rumbullets pirate ship. So special thanks to her, and happy birthday again, Liz, and I hope you enjoy the video, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye. That's what I'm saying. Welcome aboard, pirates and mermaids. I am your captain for this adventure through Sparrow. You are listening to my new album called Hail to the Thief and his tax bimbo. Just want to remind everyone that you crank up that stereo and sit back and relax. Turn up your headphones. Make sure to tip your bartender. Have you hugged your bar back today? And your kitchen help. Tell them you appreciate them. On our pirate ship, we welcome everyone aboard. We don't care what brand of sauce you drink. We don't even mind the boys and blue, as long as you're not a tattletale. Let's hear it for all paramedics and firefighters too. LGBTQ in all letters A through Z. You're welcome here. We don't care how you dress, the crazier the better. As long as everyone treats everyone how you want to be treated, let's have a rockin' time. And get this party on underway. Yeah, that's what I